back to my channel, She Plans, She Budgets. In today's video, we'll be setting up my sinking funds and savings tracker. So let's get started. All right, you guys, so for this video, I'll be using my savings tracker sticker sheet along with the sinking funds and transaction log, and then also some leftover washi from my last video and a couple of new washi pages. And then please ignore Zeus. He is in the background making an entrance. Okay, I'm just hoping he doesn't meow the entire video. All right, so we're opened up here to my calendar view. We did go ahead and set this up together along with my expense log. And I'm not sure if I mentioned in the previous videos, but this expense log is going to be where I keep track of all of my cash envelope expenses, which are these first 6 categories right here. And then in this video, I will show you where I'll keep track of my sinking funds transactions. And then the unbudgeted will only be tracked in the calendar view if there are any. All right, so after that, this next page is where I'll put the savings tracker update. And we did go ahead and do my monthly budget together. And as you can see here, I have it broken down from income, bills, cash envelopes, miscellaneous, which has the sinking funds and unbudgeted 2 categories right there. And I'm going to show you guys the breakdown of my sinking funds, and I'm going to show that on this back page right here. And we can get started with that section first. I'm going to go ahead and lay down the base of my stickers for this page, and then I'll be right back. All right, so this is how my sinking funds page is looking. I'll have my 8 categories up here, plus the transaction log down here just to record everything that is spent throughout the month. Okay, so starting with my first category, it will be self-care. And with this category, I like to buy toiletries, beauty products, basically anything I need to take care of myself. And this category is starting off with $0. I do use it almost every month and spend everything that's in that category. I normally add $85 a month. So I'll just put plus 85 here. All right, and then next is pets. I do have 2 cats, Zeus and Ginger. If any of you recall my 2 cats, I still have both of them. I don't know if you remember the story about Zeus when we first moved out here to Austin. Zeus ran away 3 days before we officially left New Jersey. And by the grace of God, he came back literally moments before we pulled off in our moving truck. He just popped up out of thin air, and we, captured him real quick and stuck him in the car with my other cat, Ginger. It was like amazing how he just randomly popped up. But I was so sad and devastated because I thought I lost my cat right before we moved. He ran out the door when we were packing up the truck one day. He just darted out the front door, and then we tried to look for him, couldn't find him. And then when I came to terms just accepting that he was gone, he randomly showed back up. So he played a little trick on us before we moved out here. So yes, so for pets, I just typically buy cat food and cat litter with this category, and this is also starting with $0. With this category, I normally roll over any remaining funds into vets and grooming, which will be another category we talk about a little later. So that's why this category usually starts off with $0 at the beginning of the month, because I like to roll over anything left over into the other pet fund. So this category is going to start off with $65, and I will be adding $65 in this category, and it's just to buy them cat food and cat litter. After that is home projects, and I use this fund for a bunch of different things. Like for instance, if I need any home appliances, kitchenware, like Tupperware, like new plates, cups, mugs, silverware, if I want a new vacuum or things like that. That's what I'll pull from home projects, and also home decor for the holidays, or just, you know, regular home decor. This category is starting off with $0 because I've been using it for the holidays, like Halloween and Christmas decor. This month I will be adding in $50. And I just realized too, with the sinking funds, I should have mentioned that the total amount that we have to work with is $733 that we set aside in our monthly budget. This was in our last video, so feel free to check that out if you haven't seen it. But we are allocating $733 from our monthly budget to sinking funds, and this is just how I'm breaking those funds down. So the next category is car maintenance, and this is for maintaining the car. We are starting off with $181.77, and this month we will be adding in $100. Actually, I just realized I've been writing the zeros. I don't know why I'm doing that actually. So yeah, for car maintenance, any car repairs, oil changes, anything that I need to maintain the car, I'll pull from here. And one new thing I started doing is I will pull car registration out of car maintenance, because that's due annually as well. Instead of having a separate category for it, I now combine it with car maintenance. And then the next item is car insurance, and we pay that twice a year. The next billing is for April of 2024. So for this month, we are starting with $180, and we will be adding $80. Okay, and then after that, I have annual subscriptions. And the annual subscriptions are your regular bills that I've showed you all in a previous video. I'm going to show you all again now. So this is my monthly bill tracker that I keep at the back of my planner, and that will be these categories right here. Not all of them, so it will include Squarespace, Microsoft, Flow app, Mint Mobile, and PlayStation in the annual subscriptions. So those have various due dates throughout the year. So I just fund this category just so when those bills come due, there is funds available to pay it. And annual subscriptions is currently starting off with $30. And this is the category that I wanted to add an additional $108 from my paycheck. That's where that came from in the monthly budget. And that's because I realized our Mint Mobile bill will be due in April of next year, and I wasn't budgeting for it previously. So now that I realized, like, oh crap, that's coming up, I need to put an additional $108 towards this category, just so by April we'll have the funds for our Mint Mobile plan, because they do charge you the 12 months up front. All right, so I normally add $30 in this category. So because I'm also adding the additional 108, I'll be adding $138 in this category. And then after annual subscriptions, I have vets and grooming. And this category is for my pets again. To buy them any grooming tools. Like I've recently bought a pet razor. If I need to take them to the vet to get any annual shots, I forget which specific shots, but you may know what I'm talking about if you are pet owners. They get annual shots, and also there was one shot I think that's every 2 or 3 years. So I save up for that for whenever we need to take them to the vet, and also for grooming. And for this category, I am starting off with $48.43. And this month I'm adding $15. Okay, and then the last category is a new category, something that my boyfriend and I just started implementing within the last 2 months, and that is health and wellness. We are really big on taking vitamins, especially my boyfriend. This category is starting off with $1.55. This is a category we typically spend out of every month. So we like to add $200 every month, just so we can restock on our vitamins and protein powder and things of that nature. So we can go ahead and add up what we are starting off with for the beginning of December for sinking funds. So that is $181.77 plus 180 plus 30 plus 48.43 plus $1.55. So I am starting the month off with $441.75, and that matches what I ended the month off in November. And then for adding, this should be $733, but let's just double check. So 85 plus 65 plus 50 plus 100 plus 80 plus 138 plus 15 and plus 200. And yes, we are adding a total of $733 this month for sinking funds. So now we are all set for our sinking funds category. So if we just add what we adding plus what we started with, in total for the month, we'll be starting with $1,174.75. Okay, and then down here, again, I'll just keep track of the transaction log of the category, the date, what we spent, the description of what we bought, and the remaining amounts for each category. And then at the end of the month, I'll close this out with you all. So stay tuned for that. All right, so now we can go ahead and flip to the other page. This is where I'm going to put the savings tracker, this sheet right here, and then I'm gonna use the washi I have, and then I'll just come back and we'll go ahead and run through what my savings tracker is all about. All right, you guys, so I have my savings tracker spread laid out. This is what it's looking like. So at the top here, I'll be keeping track of my different accounts, of what funds I'll be contributing to each category. So this will mostly consist of 3 saving goals that we have going on right now. And that will be what these 3 dots represent down here. So the first one will be 1 month ahead, because like I've mentioned, we like to save our paychecks from the current month for the following month. So this will be one of the categories, 1 month ahead. And the goal amount for this category will be $4,925. And that is the exact amount that we budget for. As you can see here in our monthly budget, the $49.25, that's where that number comes from. So we just save for it each month. All right, and then what I like to keep track of is the amount that's in this category by the end of the month. So because this month is just starting for December, this category is technically at 0, because our December paychecks will, make up the next $4,900. So right now it's technically 0, but this amount I like to fill in at the end of the month so that we'll see if we, met the goal or not. And then I just also keep track of a percentage. Okay, so the next savings is the emergency fund. And this is really like a starter emergency fund, because our goal for this category is $1,500 to start. And I will have a future video about my 2024 emergency fund, and it will we will go over my goal savings for 3 and 6 months and what those numbers look like. So stay tuned for that. And the amount for this one, we're basically getting started and got started last month in November. So this starter emergency fund is about $90, and I keep this in a high yield savings account. And my 1 month ahead is kept in a second checkings account. So they're in 2 different institutions. And I will go more into that in my next video, which will be my weekly check-in and weekly balance setup, where I go over my different accounts and how I like to organize my money and, you know, have it all set up for the beginning of the month. And then the last savings goal right now is car savings for a second car. What my boyfriend and I both realized since living here in Texas is that the public transportation is very limited. It's drastically different than the East Coast. Because before, you know, you can catch a bus and, you know, go wherever you need to go. You can take a train, go where you need to go. And they do have buses out here, but it doesn't it doesn't pick you up where you are most likely located, and it doesn't take you where you most likely need to go. So there's like a lot of walking involved if you ride the bus from point A to point B, which is kind of like crazy to us because we're used to the inner city life. So we have 1 car now, and we plan on saving for a second one. And the goal amount for this one do change just because we can't make up our minds. But for right now, I'm just going to put it down for $20,000. And this goal, we haven't started saving towards it yet. So December will be the first time we put any money aside towards it. So this is currently at 0. I forgot to write in the percentages. So let me just do that. And again, I will keep you updated on what the totals are at the end of December for all 3 categories. And then right here at the end, I'm just going to put a total of what we saved. So it'll basically be this total right here of what we saved at the end by the end of the month for these categories. And for the car savings, I'll most likely put this with the emergency fund in the high yield savings account just so it can collect some interest. And also, one reason we decided to prioritize the car savings over the emergency fund is because of our work schedules and just personal life schedules, like things that I want to do. But if my boyfriend has a car when he's at work, then that means I'm in the house. And the Uber and Lyft fees out here are a little ridiculous. And I personally think they might be taking advantage of the limited public transportation that's out here. So I think it's a little ridiculous how much they ask for Uber and Lyft. The Uber rides are a little cheaper than the Lyft rides, but I still think they're outrageous for the distance and whatnot. So not saying like the drivers don't deserve their money, but I just feel like it's a lot more than I'm willing to pay, so I don't use those services. So we're going to invest in a second car. And that's why we're prioritizing that over the emergency fund. But please believe that if anything happens between now and whenever we hit this goal, emergency wise, we will use this money. So it's not like, oh, we won't have an emergency fund, we only have $1,500, la 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 la. No, if something comes up and we have to use the car savings money, we will most definitely do that. We're not gonna, you know, put ourselves in a bind or use credit or anything, because we do not believe in debt over here. So yeah, so that's basically why we're doing that, because we realized that a need for a second car is pretty great, especially with our work schedules. Right now, I have the privilege to be working from home mostly, but starting in January, my schedule will become hybrid, where it will be 2 days a week in office, 3 days a week working remotely. So I'm very grateful for that type of schedule, but it is a conflict with me and my boyfriend's work schedule, because sometimes he has to go into work super early or work super late. So if he drops me off and I get off before him, I'm stuck. And where my job is versus where I live is quite a distance. And again, I do not want to pay the Uber and Lyft fees, and there is no public transportation to take me from work to home like it used to be in New Jersey. So in New Jersey, having one car was not an issue, but being here in Texas, we realized we definitely need a second vehicle, because we're not like in the downtown portion of Austin. We're more on the outskirts. They don't even have sidewalks out here, so you can tell that this area was developed, and it definitely didn't have, I think, how many the volume of residents in mind, because there are no sidewalks. It's not even really safe to just walk up and down the street, although people do, but I'm not used to that, so I'm not doing that. I thought about purchasing a bike, but you know, again, to drive from where I live all the way downtown, that's not happening, especially like on the highway and stuff. So yeah, we just determined that a second car is needed, and we're going to focus on that starting this month, after we get our starter emergency fund complete, and then we will move on to our car savings. And again, if anything emergent comes up, we will do what we got to do. And if this gets delayed, it gets delayed, but this is just how we're prioritizing our savings tracker for right now. And that's pretty much it for this page. So the savings will come from our paychecks. This is what I was talking about, where I was saying, like, I probably won't share the paycheck breakdowns because it's not much to show. I literally just split it between, okay, what portion is going towards bills and what portion is going towards savings, and that's it. So it's not much to show. So yeah, so now we finally have a few of my spreads all set up. So just to give a quick flip through, so this is the calendar view, and we have my expense log set up. This is where I'll keep track of the cash envelopes expenses. Now we have my savings tracker with the monthly budget, followed by my sinking funds and the transaction log for the sinking funds. In my next video, I'll share with you all how I set up my weekly check-in page along with the weekly budget, so please stay tuned for that. And that will pretty much wrap up how I set up my monthly budget for the month of December, and then we'll just go ahead and weekly check in for my cash envelopes and sinking funds, and basically all the expenses I have throughout the month. So that is it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye.